It's so dark. It was amazing! Oh, wait! There's more! It was awful! I'm back! CGI shit!
I rest my case.
It was fucking horrible! Fit me, you dare. Alright guys, hey, what's up? It's BigJackFilms here. Welcome to an opening night. This one, surprisingly, was something I was not expecting to review because, given my subject matter, I don't really talk about this kind of stuff, but, basically I was requested, well, I'm doing a favor for one, RaisorBlade, who, has been doing pretty good for himself. He did a review of this movie. A lot of people have done reviews for this movie, but he's just been going through some slight drama, you could say, that I'm just kind of supporting him on, just trying to help him get out of it, but he just got through that, and to kind of, you know, celebrate his victory, I guess you could say, I am doing a review that he actually heavily requested me to watch, and that is the recently released Puss In Boots: The Last Wish. Now, of course you guys know this is a DreamWorks movie, and this is part of the Shrek universe, which, considering certain things with this movie, a lot of the Shrek fans are making a huge comeback. Like they always say, it's never ogre. But before we get started, I should talk about the previous Shrek movies in terms of this franchise. The first one I still think is sort of a, you know, fun little movie that came out at the time. I remember the hype for it, and I saw it a few times. I had it on VHS, I had it on DVD. I mean, I like the franchise. I do think the whole franchise itself, overall, is a little overdone. I think it's mostly because of the internet and the memes is why it stays relevant. Shrek 2, yes, is one of the best sequels out there. It is a decent film, and it is progressing the story. Hate the fuck out of Shrek 3, hate the fuck out of it. My biggest issue with all the Shrek films, if I'm going to be honest, is that they're very much like the Ninja Turtle movies, like the first three Ninja Turtle films, where they're very anticlimactic, and whereas other animated films have these massive final climaxes, these ones normally kind of stick to more comedy, musical. You could even argue Shrek was the first film to start the whole dance number at the end of an animated movie. It just became a huge trope for a long ass time because we don't know how to end the movie, so make them all dance to a popular song. I don't know, but you could argue that Shrek was the first one to do that. Forever After, I actually remember kind of enjoying. I actually thought that was the better than 3, not as good as 2, but it still was a decent flick. Outside of that, I've only seen the Shrek the Whole special. I haven't seen any of the other shorts. I remember the ride at Universal being okay, but I saw it on DVD first. But then you have the first Puss In Boots movie, which I remember being kind of meh at the time. I think we were all kind of Shrek'd out, essentially. We Shrek'd out, not checked out, Shrek'd out. And I remember being just kind of like, meh, it's okay. So all of a sudden we thought, well, the franchise is gone. DreamWorks has done other things, How to Train Your Dragon, Boss Baby of all things. I mean, DreamWorks has a new logo now because they're now under Universal's library, and they have a new logo, and everybody, of course, you know, was like, oh my god, Shrek's in the logo! It's like, okay, we know. But out of nowhere, you know, they've been doing other animated films, which have been pretty decent, hit or miss films. But then you have this movie that comes right the fuck out of nowhere, has been in development hell for about 10 years. Nobody knew. I think most people forgot this is probably in development, right? And on top of that, we were kind of like, is Shrek still relevant today because of the memes and everything? We don't know. But when it came out back last month, a lot of people were saying this is a really damn good animated movie. Like, not just good, like fantastic, a masterpiece, like that good. And I'm like, really? The second Puss In Boots movie is one of the best animated movies in a long time? Come on. Really? Are we that? Was the last 2 years such the bottom of the shit barrel that we have to just consider this a masterpiece? But I'm not gonna lie, yeah, the rumors are true. The rumors are true. This is a decent film. This is a very decent animated movie. Really fun, really entertaining. Animation's fantastic, and it's just a decent story. What's the plot, basically? So Puss in Boots, once again played by the amazing Antonio Banderas, the definitive Zorro, which I'm kind of happy they're not... Like, I know there's rumors about another Zorro project here and there from different companies because it's under public domain, but I'm kind of glad that nothing's being done right now because, man... Zorro's the last franchise I want them to fucking ruin. But to the point, Banderas is back because he's amazing. Basically, on his last lives, as we know, according to Batman Returns, cats have 9 lives. So he has died 8 times, he's down to his last life, and so he has to decide whether to retire as Puss in Boots or just keep going till he dies. But little does he know, he has laughed in the face of death before, literally, because we have Death himself, who is this wolf, now chasing after him, and, Jesus fucking Christ, I will get to him in a sec. But not only is Death after Puss in Boots, you have Goldilocks and the Three Bears, which is kind of conflicting with the continuity of the Shrek films, because weren't they captured by Farquaad in the first movie, and I think the mama bear ended up getting, like, turned into a bear rug, which, Jesus Christ. So, unless that was a totally different set of bears, it kind of fucks up the continuity a little bit. But, to the point, the Goldilocks and the Three Bears are after Puss in Boots. They're sort of bounty hunters, who are trying to basically pursue them. And then you have, I'm gonna have so many people come at me for this. A character named Big Jack. I know there's like a fairy tale character named that, and something about, I think, Little Jack Horner, Big Jack Horner, right? No relation to me on my end, who is this big, giant asshole who wants to basically chase after them as well. Puss in Boots is actually reunited with his old flame from the first one, and also this little tiny dog who is fucking adorable, and they all have to find the wishing star. Yes, it's the wishing star from the, not literally, but it might as well be the one from the fucking Animaniacs film, Wacko's Wacko Wish. I think that's the name of the title, but it's sort of the same premise. They have to go and find this magical wish. Puss in Boots wants to get his 9 lives back, and I think the other kitty wants to get a wish. Everybody wants a wish, and they're all fighting for this, and it leads to a bunch of adventure, heists, a quest, solving mysteries with this map, and ultimately getting to it before either of them do, or death comes for them all. So, with that premise, it's surprising how well this is written, how well this is acted, how well this is animated, and just overall, like, a decent film. Antonio, once again, is fantastic as Puss in Boots, and still carries on the whole adventure that he set up since the second Shrek, which came out almost 20 years ago, holy shit. And he's still great, and, just hearing his voice and everything, like, you could tell, like, this is almost like the character's swan song, because, Banderas is getting up there, but he still loves to play the character on occasion, and it's one of those things, again, because you gotta remember, when he was cast as Puss in Boots, this was right around the time he was having huge stardom from The Mask of Zorro, so obviously the Shrek team, when they made the sequel, said, well, we have the Spanish cat with a sword, let's get Banderas to do it. And so they obviously just said, we just want you to be Zorro for this whole character. And that's what I like to see with Puss in Boots. He is basically an extension of Banderas' Zorro character, and give it its own take. And I think that's why I keep going back, because I will admit Puss in Boots is probably my favorite character in the Shrek mythology because of that reason. So again, Banderas is fantastic. We get to see him really perform really well in this, and there are moments in this movie, I will say, again, they give Puss very much an amazing character arc in this, and there's one scene in particular, because he is being chased after death, and during that time he has a lot of anxiety attacks, and on top of that he has the dog friend who befriends him and everything, and he says, I'm gonna be a support dog, and I'm thinking, oh, I know people with support pets, and you have to tread on that subject very lightly. This surprisingly did it very well. When Puss in Boots has almost a heart attack levels of an anxiety panic attack, here comes the dog to just like kind of lean his head on his stomach and kind of comfort him. And dogs and pets are meant to do that, certain like trained pets. And so kudos to them for actually replicating that very well. And as somebody who myself on occasion goes through anxiety attacks, I can relate to Puss in Boots' struggle. So it was a decent film on that end, and it gave Puss in Boots ultimately an arc to just say, F my 9 lives, YOLO. That's the moral for him, it's YOLO. But outside of that, his supporting cast, Kitty is also fantastic in this. I don't know who voices her. Somebody in the comments let me know. I don't know much of the voice cast in this. You have the dog, who is a great addition to the franchise. Absolutely adorable, really funny. At first I thought, oh god, it's another Olaf, but he managed to hold his own, much like Olaf did in the first Frozen. In terms of our villains, somewhat, Goldilocks and the Three Bears actually are surprisingly good in this. I think the whole family dynamic of it all is actually really fun, and something, I mean, like, I kind of know the story of Goldilocks and the Three Bears, I just keep forgetting how the fuck it ends, and I think it ends where she basically gets adopted by the bears, which I think is really adorable. And in this movie, they kind of expanded that. Again, it kind of contradicts some stuff from the first movie, and it's very hard to tell what the continuity is with the Shrek universe now. So, in that sense, I mean, the only excuse I guess you could say, and this is, look, this is not me being a hardcore Shrek fan, okay? I'm not a hardcore Shrek fan. I don't care or give a fuck about the whole mythology. But maybe perhaps that when Shrek in the fourth one, I'm going this deep, guys, I'm just a side note. In the fourth one, when he makes the deal with Rumpelstiltskin, and then he gets his life back at the end of the first movie, it causes a wave that pretty much, I guess, resets Goldilocks and the Three Bears. That is the only excuse you could have for certain changes with this film and contradicting certain canon stuff with the Shrek series, is that Rumpelstiltskin's curse lifting in the fourth film was what caused this chain reaction to allow things to sort of reset and resolve itself, basically, is the only way this could make sense. So that's how Goldilocks and the Three Bears are. There's my theory. So, to the point, they're pretty good in this movie. Big Jack Horner, it's funny, because it's like you took the combination of my name, my YouTube name, and Jack Horner, the dinosaur expert from, you know, this thing, and just made a character out of him, and okay, I will admit there's one character in this that I keep forgetting is in this movie. Jiminy Cricket's in this, his conscience, he has him as a little conscience, and Jiminy Cricket is like, he's almost put into, like, it's like the Jiminy Cricket from the Disney Pinocchio, like the original Walt Disney film from 1940, but he's brought today, and he sees what everybody's doing, and the whole time he's just like, what the fuck, guys? Oh, like, he's actually, and there's one part I laugh where he's like, it's like, you're horrible. This is also one of the better Pinocchio movies of 2022. Let's admit that. Like, next to Del Toro, this is one of the better ones. He was fantastic. I really like Jiminy in this. But it's like, Jack Horner is okay in this. He's not really, like, he's just there, and he is sort of funny in some cases. And by the way, this movie, for being an animated film, and an animated film, let's be honest, is marketed to kids, has a lot going on for it that's not for kids. There is swearing, there is, death, people die in this, like, there's a lot of shit that goes on in this movie. You're like, oh wow, I'm surprised they let that slide. I guess because nobody thought to give a fuck about Puss in Boots, the second movie, that they just let it slide, and surprisingly it made for a decent, you know, balanced film. But yes, I have to talk about death. Death in this is, yeah, a lot of people are saying is one of the best animated villains in a long time. I agree. To a point. First of all, I will say presentation-wise, yeah, fucking terrifying. Like, every time he whistles, I do feel the chills. There are moments he actually, like, jumps into the frame like a horror movie, like a jump scare, and you're just like, Jesus Christ, right? Like, it is, in moments, terrifying. Even though you know it's coming, the jump scares actually work. Like, I mean, I would even say for kids, this is almost like Don Bluth levels of horrors, because kids are gonna have nightmares about this guy. Let's be real about that. But it's great. I think that's actually good, because you know what? Kids' movies have been mostly very fluff, very Care Bears-y, not taking enough risks. And this one takes risks, and what I love about it is that, essentially, you know, it's just, I think kids do need a little bit of fear. That's one of the messages of the movie, you know? Like, the fear is a factor in life. And I think for kids to be educated by that is a very important lesson. So, death is great in all that. The big fight at the end is spectacular. Great choreography. And this is the one thing I love about this movie. The previous Shrek films and all the adventures that happen, we see Puss in Boots do awesome shit, but we never really see him engage in full-on sword fights. Even when he does, it's only a few moves and then they cut away. And it's something about the Shrek movies I can't stand. I can't stand the lack of almost, you know, like, battled fight scenes in these films. There's not really much in terms of that in the franchise. So Puss in Boots comes in and says, yeah guys, let's actually do some cool sword fights and stuff. Like, the fight at the end is pretty awesome. And there's a lot of great duels in this, although half the time Puss does not have his sword. He's lost it. He doesn't have it. He has it at the beginning of the movie, and he has it at the end of the film. So there's something on that end that I can kind of appreciate, that they finally did try to up the action in these movies, which is something that was lacking from the previous Shrek films. The only thing I will say about death that I didn't like is that I didn't know how this movie was going to end, and to see him, you know, like, trying to kill Puss in Boots, and then Puss finally saying, no, I'm not afraid of you, I'm not afraid of you, I'm not afraid of you, you can kill me all you want, I'm not afraid of you. And Death just kind of pusses out. He's like, ah, damn it, I can't kill you, you're too respected. Now, I understand respecting your opponent, but you're Death. You're pure evil. You're supposed to kill him, or he's gonna kill you, or something like that. I was expecting, I guess you could say, because we are getting a return to a formal villain, that they might as well destroy him, but at the same time, you know, having him just walk off and respect Puss in Boots and say, well, maybe it's like a Western, I guess. This is going for the spaghetti Westerns. At the same time, it's like, I don't know, I feel like Death should have died. Let's be real. They should have put the dog down. Let's be real about that. I think he was just too much of a threat. And on top of that, it's like, even if you were to let him live and make more films, he'd be a great you know, villain to keep going in the franchise. So there are a bit of missed opportunities with him just basically saying, ah, fuck it, you know, go live your life, Puss, and I might be an anti-hero. No, I miss when villains used to fall to their death or something like that. You know, it's the one element in the film that kind of took a little bit of the joy out of it for me, the entertainment value. And also on top of that, Death sees this wishing star, and doesn't think, oh, I should probably use that wish. You know, like, imagine if he became immortal or spread death throughout the world. Like, you know, you've got this Lord of Death and this magical MacGuffin that can make you get whatever you want. This is like Frieza. This is like Dragon Ball Z when Frieza's trying to get the Dragon Balls and say, "Dragon, grant me immortality!" Just something. You know, like, I feel like should have leveled it. I know it's a little cliche, but it kind of should have leveled it. But I, you know, respect the animators or writers to kind of doing something there. At least it's not a surprise villain. At least it's not a, oh, I'm a good guy, you can trust me, and then surprise, I'm a traitor, like this Game of Thrones bullshit. So at least I'll give it credit to that. This movie does take some risks left and right, and it makes for being very passable. And in terms of, I will admit too, the music's really good in this. There's something about, let's admit, the Spanish guitar in anything for me is amazing. In fact, I just watched recently, I hadn't seen it in a long-ass time, The Road to El Dorado, and that score is fantastic. I think it was Hans Zimmer who did that one. That was back when he actually had talent, and not just blah all the time. But, you know, the Spanish guitars in that really worked. And this one, I don't know who did the score to this, but the Spanish guitars and all that stuff really work. In fact, they take a lot of songs, like popular songs, and use a Spanish cover, and it works. Like, this is some good shit. Like, I really like they kind of go for a bit more of the Hispanic culture within this film and allow it to thrive, to allow, you know, kids to be educated by this kind of stuff, which is fan-freaking-tastic. Outside of that, the mid-credit scene where, and actually, thankfully, this does not end with a big dance number at the end. It actually ends on a very sweet note, but there's a post-credit scene where they take a ship and they go to far, far away. Okay, so a lot of fans are probably wondering, a little spoiler here, and it's the thing everybody's wondering, it's the equivalent of people like, where the fuck is Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield? Is Shrek in the movie? Yes. Yes, he is. But for a few frames, because there are moments when Puss in Boots has his life flash before his eyes, and we do see him walking with Shrek and Donkey. So yes, this is actually a continuation of the previous Shrek movies. This is a continuation, this is not a reboot, this continues the story, and the fact that they go back to Far, Far Away assumes, you know what, let's be real guys, this movie's actually doing very well, box office-wise, critic-wise. DreamWorks is going to do a Shrek 5. There is no, it's inevitable at this point. Shrek 5 is going to happen. How they execute Shrek 5, let's see. Is it going to be a soft reboot? Is it going to be a direct sequel, which I would prefer? Or is it going to be a remake or a redo of it all? I would prefer the 5th film, calling it Shrek 5. And you know what? I know it's coming. Acknowledge the memes. Acknowledge, you know, maybe even make that the tagline. It's never ogre. Just go for it. I will give you guys a pass, DreamWorks, if you can acknowledge the memes. Unlike other films like Space Jam: A New Legacy, which pretty much acknowledges big chungas, or even like, I'll admit, on TikTok, the Arthur TikTok page by PBS, the official page, they acknowledge the memes. They acknowledge the adult fans. So kudos to them. I will give them major props. If Shrek 5 can pull that off, they have my respect. They know this is not made for kids. That's not going to be made for kids. That's going to be made for the fans who were there for the first movie 20 years ago, like me. So if they do that, I'm in. I'm totally in for a fifth Shrek film, a fifth adventure. Get Mike Myers, Cameron Diaz, Eddie Murphy. What the fuck are they doing nowadays? Practically nothing. Give them something. In fact, Mike Myers will still play Shrek on occasion. I think there's that Netflix movie he was on that he had Shrek come in. So there's still relevance. There is still a demand, or, you know, a asking for another Shrek. So let's go for it. But with Puss in Boots, The Last Wish, I did like this one. This is a fun little movie for kids. This is a fun little movie for the whole family. This is a good family film. For those who don't want to go see Avatar, go see this movie. I haven't seen Avatar yet. I do need to. I'm due to see it, but I just haven't had time. This finale is driving me nuts. But with Puss in Boots, animation's fantastic. Characters are great. The cast is phenomenal. The music's great. This is a really good time for DreamWorks to put out something really decent. I can't remember last time they had a decent hit. But this is a really good one. One other complaint I will say very quickly is that the animation, yes, is very much inspired by Into the Spider-Verse with that sort of stop-motion frame stuff, which I get, people like doing this stuff, but don't overdo it. Don't overdo it, animators. Like, just try to still have traditional animation with stuff. But overall, the creativity behind this movie's great, and everything about it's pretty good. So kudos to the whole production at DreamWorks, and wonder what they're going to do next. I am very curious of what's on their bucket list, especially now that they're under Universal's belt. So this is a good, I'd say a good 8.5 out of 10. I really enjoyed this one. Should I give it a 9? You know what? For Puss in Boots, I'll make it a 9. 9 lives. 9 out of 10. A decent animated movie. Go check it out. So, big thank you once again to RaisorBlade for recommending this episode, and he's also on Patreon, and of course, if you guys want to go subscribe to our Patreon, just $1 more will get you early access to all of our content, as well as other special features, and on top of that, if you donate $5 a month, you're going to get our opening night request. We're going to be bringing these back week to week. We're trying to get back on a weekly schedule, now that this finale is about halfway done. We're just finishing up part 2, and things are going in the right direction. We're going to have a trailer out soon as well. So let me know your thoughts on Puss in Boots in the comment section below. And as always, like, comment, subscribe, share this video. In fact, even if you want, do the YouTube premium thing, subscription thing, where you can, like, support your creators here. I'm going to try to plug that in a bit more. And I will see you guys in the next video. This is BigJackFilms signing off, saying, yeah, just go see Puss in Boots. It's worth the 9 lives out of 10 to check out. So there's all I got. I'll see you guys later. Take it easy.